All right, guys. So I'm here with Chef Kenten, who just lost 50 pounds in the first 4 months of the program. So if you want to hear how he's done it as a busy chef and learn about his experience, you want to stick around. Kenton, brother, thank you so much for doing this, for joining me today. I'm very proud about what you've done in the past 4 months and your whole journey. I mean, I was surprised for such as like for such a physical transformation and with everything else. Honestly, I wasn't like expecting this type of change. That was very exciting. But anyway, man, before we dive in and talk about your progress, you mind telling the viewers who's Chef Kenton?
I'm Kenten Marin. I'm pretty much a traveling chef. I live part of my year I live in Alaska. Part of the year I live in Mexico. I live in Peru, and then I do jobs like around wherever they take me. Like for the holidays, I'll be in Colorado. So yeah, so it's kind of hard for me to keep a steady pace with what I do, and like, keep control of what I eat and stuff like that. But thanks with this program and Leo, it's been total change.
It's been good, man. But you're a global chef, international chef, a chef from everywhere. Pretty exciting. So what was going on with you before you got started? Before like we even met, like what was going on in your life? What were you struggling with in specific?
Well, it got to the point that I didn't know what the problem was. I guess I just didn't feel good with myself, and I was upset at myself all the time. And I don't know, I just let go of myself, and I wasn't really sure why. And I just knew I wasn't happy, and I knew I had to do something about it. The, I was like, how am I gonna do this? Like, can I do it? And all these doubts were always in my mind. It's like, I'm not gonna last if I try. Uh, I don't have the support, things like that. And yeah, that's pretty much what it was. I wasn't really sure the problem before I started the program, but you know, I was just really upset at myself and who I became, and like the lack of motivation and the lack of energy I had, and it's I didn't know how I got to that point.
Yeah. You were kind of in in that place where you had to change something, but you weren't sure exactly what, and you were a little bit overweight and feeling like crap, and years were passing by, and that's kind of
Yeah.
how we met and we got started. Was there like a moment in time when you realized you needed coaching, or did that just casually happen? That you're like, okay, I can see what this guy is doing. I'm just gonna take the help.
Well, I started realizing that when I was happy with myself, and if I would exercise or do sports or go to the gym, I always had a friend with me. I always had somebody by my side. And this time I didn't really have anybody by my side. I, I didn't ask many people, but some of the people I asked were not interested, in changing their lifestyle either. So since I travel a lot, I don't have the same people around me all the time either. So I can't really depend on having a friend next to me or somebody guiding me or coaching me, even if they have no experience, just wanting to be like, hey, let's go do this. And and yeah, and then I was on the online when I saw one of your posts because Facebook listens to everybody. So suddenly I just saw a post and then I checked out the page and then I saw there was other chef friends that I've had from Houston and stuff like that. They were part of the group, and I was like, okay, so maybe I'll just ask them. I sent a couple messages and they didn't answer back, but I was like, if they're here, it's probably like it has to be true or it has to be helped them in a way. I've also seen their before and after for some of them, and so I was like, okay, so maybe this is what I should give it a try. And sure enough, it was maybe like the first chat we had, I wasn't still really convinced, but I was like, this is the opportunity. Like I've been asking for a chance, and this is the chance.
Yeah, man, it was worth it. Honestly, it's one of the best, at least like physical transformations that I've seen. Like even looking at your profile pic, like on the app, like with the
Yeah.
Alaska on the background, and
Hmm.
seeing you now, it's already like such a difference because I remember you like the first times that I spoke to you, you're like this chubby chef, like long beard, and yeah, I could tell like you were a little bit depressed when you got started. That was a little bit of a lonely road for you. Everyone around you was drinking after the shift, and that was something like people weren't aligned with the changes that you wanted to see. You wanted to spend more time outdoors. You wanted to do your thing, hiking
Hmm.
around, enjoying Alaska. and
Yeah.
that was nice, man. And that was just like the first half of the program. Then you went to travel a little bit back and forth. You went to Mexico, Wisconsin, Texas, and then
Houston.
back.
Yeah.
So that was good. And throughout like all that time, like the average of your progression was like all the way to like the 50 pounds. And our goal was like less than that. Our goal was like what, 40 pounds or something.
40 pounds. Yeah. So we started
Kept
40.
dropping and dropping and hitting the gym consistently. And then all of a sudden, there you were, dude. But tell me about your experience when you first got started, like first couple of weeks.
Well, the first couple of weeks, I guess, that was the hardest, definitely. And, like I just, especially because I wasn't in the environment with the people, like, I didn't want to talk about it or stuff like that since I already asked them and they didn't want to. So I just started doing it by myself, and like just watching over and over the app and opening the app again and see what's next. What am I going to do tomorrow? What's this? Like drinking the water, it was like I was almost drinking a gallon of water, but I wasn't that quite. And those last 2 glasses a day in the beginning were a challenge. And yeah, learning, like when you told me about like eating, or it's not really, I guess, an eating disorder, but more of a bad eating habits or eating addiction, And for me, it's like eating addiction. That's addicted to cigarettes, addicted to alcohol, but food, no. And then I started like realizing because of that, how my hand just moves automatically to grab a piece of food right into my mouth, and I do that all day and you don't realize. And then you're like, oh, well, I didn't have lunch, so I have to have lunch, and then, oh, well, I didn't have dinner, so you have dinner. But really, you've been eating all day. And the more I started noticing that, there's times I would even like my hands shake, going to my mouth, like, stop it, drop it. And yeah, the first few weeks, that was the hardest. And I think that was the main thing that changed my mindset to, like make it easier in the rest of things. Because I was like, if I understand that this is a big problem in myself, the rest is gonna just be easy. So yeah, that's my first challenge. My first biggest challenge was that.
Yeah, although like as soon as you got started, like your meal logs already from the get-go, your meals were perfect. So
Yeah,
that was like one thing that you really nailed down. Like all your nutrition was great, and you were making out the most out of the food that you had available in there. Like all that high
exactly.
quality salmon.
Yeah,
That's good because you really had tasty food during all this time.
yeah,
But that's hilarious, man. Because like I get that feedback a lot that people's hands automatically lean into the food that you see there on the line. And
yeah,
yeah, and people just have no clue.
yeah.
They don't
That or like,
realize how much they're eating. And one of the things that, yeah, it just created that awareness around like what you were consuming
mhm.
during the day. But let's talk about like the more exciting part. What were your results?
Oh, the physical and mental, and I'm sure like more health wise than just physical too. But I know it was crazy. First of all, I didn't really notice much of my body change or anything like that, but the first thing was the energy, and like me wanting to like just doing the LP1, with the intermittent fasting and LP2 and stuff like that. Thinking that is gave me all this energy. And at first, I traded it for coffee pretty much. I traded food for coffee. So yeah, I would drink like 10 to 15 cups of coffee a day the first couple of weeks. But then it was just went down, went down. Nowadays, I might drink 1 cup of coffee. So yeah, but the energy, motivation, and wanting to like keep going or accepting the challenge that I couldn't finish the first workouts, even though I was just doing them at home without going to the gym. And yeah, and then physical transformation started happening. I guess it was halfway in kind of when I started really noticing. Oh, well, in the first pictures, I noticed already all the bloating was gone and all that pretty much, but I still didn't feel like I was losing too much weight. I think right after Alaska, I passed through Houston and I didn't lose too much weight a little bit, but as soon as I started going to the gym, and my wife saw me, and then people started noticing. Then I noticed more. And you explained me that's because you teach yourself every day too. So I didn't see too much of a change, but everyone started telling me, "Oh, you lost a lot of weight. You lost a lot of weight. You lost a lot of weight." So that was for me great. And then now it was a challenge not to weigh myself every day. Before I didn't want to weigh myself, and then I was like, "Oh, I want to see if I lost a little weight today." Just no, but I was stopped. But yeah, it's my sizes. I went from a large, extra large. Now I use a small, medium. my waist for my pants used to be 36 30s, and now they're 30 30s. So yeah, it's a big change for sure.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, it would be impossible not to notice your weight loss. I know like some reactions were pretty interesting from what you said. Um, so that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. That's awesome. So your biggest challenge was first getting used to the like different awareness of food that you had to have, and then the water.
Yeah. Uh, oh yeah. So, oh, that was then with the water, like, sorry, you cut off for a second. The water is about the intake of the water. You cut off for a second.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. I was just going over
Uh,
like your biggest challenge. So
oh
initially
yeah, the water. Yeah, the
was
water was
being
the
aware
biggest
of food,
challenge.
and then the water. But apart from that, everything was smooth. Was it like
For me, it was really smooth actually. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, and a lot of people told me they thought it was going to be harder too, like from what I explained to them. But I mean, mainly it was just having somebody on my side and somebody, like in the middle of the week, are you okay? Doing good? And that's kind of what I needed. I think sometimes it doesn't look like I really needed much. But, I don't think I could have not done it without having the support inside and knowing what to do. Like all the exercises and just be like this. Anybody can go to the gym and just get a machine and not know what to do. So I watch the videos over and over, make sure I'm doing them right, make sure my feet are positioned right, and things like that. Because a lot of times, well, trainers by itself are expensive, and you don't want to. I don't want to have a trainer in each place I go either. It's just having one on your phone with you and having talks and having chats is perfect.
yeah, man? It's been good, dude. I'm really happy with what you've done, and yeah, definitely very very inspiring. What would be a piece of advice you'd give a chef potentially watching this that could use the type of help that you had?
I would say try not to let yourself go that far. I didn't notice myself, but I wish I would have noticed before. So if you're already in a position that you feel you have to start, it might be already past the point. So go ahead and do it. Don't be afraid. Taking years of my life, like, oh, I feel so much younger now, and I feel like inspired. I like cooking different ways. I like cooking healthier, challenging myself to make it super tasty. So it's actually opened a lot of doors for me. Like, because I feel happy over general. Like a lot of times we think work is what puts us down. Like the pressure of work. I'm like, man, I work every day and I have different menus every day, so the pressure's there. And I found time to do it anyway. So here I am doing it better, be happier. Should just people looking at me have a better image. Like they feel like, oh yeah, that's the guy I want for the job. Not the sad, grumpy guy with the long beard, chubby. Like, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Just do it. Yeah, my advice is do it now. Don't wait. Just go ahead and do it now.
Thanks, man. It was definitely life changing for you, and as I said, congratulations, man. This is well deserved, dude. Like you crushed it.
Thank you.
You crushed it.
Thanks, man.
Great
Appreciate
job,
it.
man. Great job. All right, man. That's it. If anyone watching
Cool.
this, you have a question for me or Kenton, just drop them below in the comments. We'll get back to you. I'm gonna stop the recording now so we can chat a little bit.
Cool.